Welcome to DW's Artist Access. I'm Linda Ceballos. Today we're at the Knitting Factory in Hollywood, California with DW's featured artist, Johnny Rabb. They're about to start sound check, so let's go take a listen. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank
it is
you.
A pleasure meeting you.
You as well.
I mean, we kind of intruded in your sound check here,
Not at
didn't
all.
we?
No, you're welcome to come in. Kidding me?
It was so great. These guys were unbelievable. In case you don't know about Johnny's background, let me tell you a little bit about how versatile this guy is. Not only has he played with some talented artists, he's an inventor. He does clinics all over the world. He was in the Guinness Book of World Records for the world's fastest strummer. He's published books, DVDs, instructional videos. I mean, he's done it all. He's recording with his band, he's on tour. You are a busy guy.
It is busy, but I'm excited that right now we're getting a chance to get out here. Band's USSA with Paul Barker, who's in Ministry and Revolting Cox, and also Dwayne Dennison from the Jesus Lizard, and a wonderful vocalist and musician in his own right, Gary Call, on lead vocals.
You have a debut album?
Debut album out right now. The Spoils. And we're right here at the Knitting Factory doing it tonight at 11.
Absolutely. And you guys can just check it out. You can go on his website. There's lots of information about what he's up to and where they will be. The tour has been fun?
It's been awesome. I've seen parts of the U.S. I didn't know existed.
Oh, wonderful.
And I've done a lot of road work, but even now we're rocking it. It's fun.
That's great.
Really
well, you have your DW kit here.
Yeah.
Why don't you break it down, show us a little bit about what's going on?
Cool. This is, honestly, I was talking to Scott Donnell, a good friend of mine from DW in Pacific. Went online and I was like, I'm going to go on tour. How about the 805 series? Can I try this on the road? 24-inch bass drum. And this was in a package. Now, believe it or not, it came right out of the box. And I prove it here. I got the same factory head on there, and I've been using that for the last 20, 25 days. Same thing with the snare drum. So we got a 24-inch bass drum, 14-inch snare, 13-inch, look at that, 13-inch tom that I'm using kind of as a floor tom, suspended there, and then a 16-inch floor tom. And I left the 18-inch floor tom at home just because this is the kind of setup we're using. So with this band, I've actually had sound engineers in all these clubs come up and say, I've never heard a kit like that. And that sounds like, oh, you got to be kidding me. But seriously, it's been amazing. People coming up and going, the kick drum's cutting through, and et cetera, et cetera. So
do you change it up for different shows? I mean, is it always this setup or different bands? How does that work for you?
Different bands. For this is the USSA kind of setup. This is what I used in the studio, this configuration, same cymbals configuration, et cetera, and drums. Again, for my biodiesel band, I used a smaller, like a 14-inch diameter bass drum, based off the old Chameleon kit that they had, and that thing is just rocking. I actually checked that into airplanes and fly it.
Wow.
So that's pretty cool. Yeah, so every band does a different setup. Same with clinics too.
Oh, wonderful. So at your clinics, you just go and you set it up, and do you move things around? How does that work for you in your clinics?
Basically the same kind of tilt or lean. I kind of, Abe Laboriel Jr. and I went to Berkeley together, which in my opinion didn't really need to go there. He's such a monster. But anyway, and I remember doing a show where he was like, why do you guys slant your drums so much? And I played on his kit, and it was like relatively flat. And ever since then, I've really done a flat setup, lower and flatter. And to answer your question, I do change it up. I use a 10-inch, 12, and 14-inch snare for the clinics, and one 10-inch rack tom here, and maybe a 20-inch bass drum. So there's basically 3 kit configurations that I'm using for the 3 different styles of music that I'm into. You
are someone who, you're like a pioneer, you break boundaries, you
appreciate it.
You tried so many different things and you come up with so many different sounds. It's really amazing. Tell me about that for you.
Well, I can tell you that that's just an easy one to answer. My dad, who's not a musician, but he's been a great father. My parents have been really supportive through this crazy career. He said, why don't you try to make up your own music? And that was a very broad statement. I remember we were washing the car together, and I was like, Dad, you don't do that. Why don't you do something different on drum? You don't do that. The more I thought about it, and I was doing restaurant jobs in Nashville to try to make ends meet while I was trying to get some country touring stuff. It was very frustrating, and I had a loft that had no air conditioning. It was like 100, it had to be like 120. I'm serious up there. And that's where I started doing stuff like the rhythm saw and like the freehand technique. But it was all this stuff is based on inspiration from other drummers. Kenwood Denard inspired the freehand. Steve Smith's inspired me over the years. Point of it is inspiration by others or other inventors as well.
Yeah.
And trying to get new sounds out of the kit, because if you do the same thing and you're just well-rounded, that's important, that's the most important. But if you just do the same thing, you're going to get put in the spot of that. There might be like 100 other drummers or more, as you know, that could do the same gig that you could if you don't have something else that offers a little, I don't know, artistic creativeness.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think you're very
Something.
unique. I think
Thanks.
that, like I said in the intro, I mean, he's very versatile, and I think that's very
it.
important to have your own style. This is who I am, and I really enjoy that about your music. Absolutely.
Well, thank you. I following my dad's.
He was right. Dad knew. Right.
Good job, Charlie. That's right.
Good job, Charlie. You raised a good son. He listened to you. So, we ask each artist the same 5 questions.
Okay.
All right? So just whatever comes to mind, answer.
All right.
Who is your favorite band of all time?
Favorite band of all time is a tough one, and I'll just say I kind of grew up with Rush. Right now, I'm not following them as much, but I'm going to put that as kind of, that was one of my influential bands. I have to say that. You know what I mean? Because Neil and,
Rush,
you know, growing up with them. And
yeah. Okay, Waffle House or Denny's?
Well, Waffle House, because I'm from Nashville, and it's a little bit more, this is going to sound rude, but like kind of just old school trashy kind of. Like you can go in there like way late at night and it's like a bar and you never know who's going to be in there. The one near my house is like, you got several locations. If you want it to get worse, you go to one part. If you want it to be a little bit more like clean and stuff, you go to another part of Nashville. So, and it's good.
It is good.
It's good. I suggest the egg sandwich and the pecan waffle.
Egg sandwiches, that's my favorite
All right.
too.
Get the bike tire going. Get it going.
All right, and what annoys you?
What annoys me? Oh, in airplanes, when you land and as soon as like the wheels hit the ground and they say you can use your cell phones now, and then businessman Joe's all, what's that? No, still on the, we're on the tarmac. No, you need to fire him. No, tell him he's fired. Okay, no, pick me up outside. It was too long of an invitation. You get it.
Got it.
Stay off the phone.
I got it. I agree. Absolutely. If you could pick another profession other than drumming, what would it be?
It wouldn't be the crab fishing thing in Alaska or whatever they do where they get all tossed off the boat, but probably some sort of outdoors fishing type thing, if you could make money doing that. Or,
outdoors.
That's pretty good. Yeah, that's fine.
All right, cool. And what inspires you?
Oh, what inspires me is it's still music, honestly. Like, no matter how hard the career is, and it is hard.
A lot of work.
It is. It really is. I think there's people think it's just like, yeah, boom, you're in, you're doing it. But it still inspires me when I see a drummer or a musician do something like recently. This guy Jake Najor is a drummer from San Diego, and I saw him play with Carl Denson. And I was just sitting around, friends with Stanton Moore. We were out together watching this group, and it just was one of those things where once again I was inspired by this guy. I'm like, I've never seen him, and he was killer and all that. And then people like Steve Smith, who's like taking his educational stuff like to the limit with all this Indian rhythm. So it's still music. It's still a hobby. It's like a jobby.
It's a jobby.
It's a job.
How's that for a word? Yep. I like it. Well, thank you so much for having us.
Linda, thank you.
You can go on his MySpace and find out where they're going to be. Come check them out. They have their new CD. And, it was great. Thank you for tuning in to DW's Artist Access, and I'm Linda Ceballos.